One thing about bikes, even with cones, we don't have to really merge. Because we fit.
Got your camera rigged. Camera's all set to go. Throttle controlled auto. Roger, let's go now. Sounds good. Ready? Getting close. Sure feel like we're going the wrong way.
There was a pothole there, pretty good size, which I avoided. Why are you in a tuck going uphill? I'll go to Okay, I'm taking the 101 north, and I'm gonna head over to Malibu. That'll be a fun road for everybody. That guy was like tapping his brakes all throughout the corner. The 101 is actually a pretty fun freeway, as freeways go. It's pretty twisty. The 405 that I was on, fucking awful. It's like the worst freeway that I live near. Everything else is pretty aces in comparison. And I've actually crashed on that freeway, which sucked. Gross. I can smell cigarettes from like so far away. Okay. Ready to split now. I gotta check my tires and see how they feel. A lot of times with lane splitting, if you get into this like swerve rhythm, it makes life easier. And for that, you need to have tire trust. So your tires have to feel good. You have to be ready to trust them to make those little swerves that you need to get into the gaps. Like this. That sort of thing. And, yeah, I think I'm there. What I also do when splitting is I use a lane space, especially if someone knows I'm there. And some people like to, they look like they're ready to pounce. Give them a little rev up. Of course, you see, I get a little bit of a backfire. That's not a bad thing. Now, what's better, aggressive lane splitting or relaxed? Both. You need both for different situations. Most of the time, you should be like a ninja. It's better not to disturb the actions of a driver unless he doesn't know you're there or if he's not paying attention. I'm saying he, I mean he or she. He is just more expedient. So, better to be like a ninja most of the time. Don't disturb the driving pattern. People are going to keep doing generally what they are doing. And if they're going to do something different, they usually broadcast it. See how this guy's driving on the very right-hand side of the lane and braking? This person is trouble. Now, a lot of times if they know you're there, they'll do stuff they wouldn't normally do. Like they might be hostile. They may just be perturbed, scared, whatever it is. But if you do the ninja style, then you're going to get less of that. So, and I'm also splitting a little fast. I should slow down. Generally, you want to split slower. You don't want to go too fast because, first of all, if someone cuts in front of you, you have less time to react. Plus, you know, you're more prone to scare drivers or piss them off. California drivers put up with a lot, so you don't want to be too much of a jerk. And you know, flaunt your advantage too much. And it's a good thing to wave to people who let you through. Now what I like to do is I like to keep a constant pace. Not necessarily a fast pace when splitting, but constant. And I usually keep my revs low unless I need to rev someone. And by low I don't mean blogging, I just mean low enough to not freak people out, but high enough to accelerate on a dime if you need to, or at the drop of a hat. Because we're talking about time and not location. Now another good thing when splitting is to keep your lights, your high beams, in the side mirrors of cars. And even if you're just hanging back and you're not really splitting actively, and maybe you're just waiting, first of all, don't linger too long, because it makes drivers are uncomfortable when there's a bike around them. The foremost thought is usually, you know, get around me, like I'm uncomfortable because I hear the noise and I see the lights and I know you're going to do something, and so they're usually waiting for you to do something, and that is get around them. So don't linger, and if you're going to linger, you know, take up a lane as usual. But if you are getting ready for something, or you're just cruising or making a very, very slow pass like I am now, use those side mirrors and point your lights right inside of them. If someone moves over, exploit it and move on. Don't make them wait. So these are just my tips for lane splitting. I've been lane splitting for, well, I lane split for 3 years in all weather, 32 miles one way to work in LA, and I'm alive. So I have some experience. I've also lane split at other times, but 3 years every day to work, 32 miles one way from Santa Clarita to Santa Monica. If you don't learn by then, you're dead or something's wrong. So yeah, I definitely know how to lane split, and I've done it on many bikes. The GSX-R, you know, the downside is I can't see in my rearview mirrors too well. Just the way my elbows are and the way the mirrors are. On the R1 I can see a little bit better. Now this guy is a little bit of a squid because he doesn't have gear on. That's okay. To each their own. And I'm not pressuring him because I don't want to make him do anything silly. And I'm staggering the lane. So he has the right side, he's giving me the left side, and I'm giving him plenty of room because I don't know him, and because that's the safe thing to do. If he were to suddenly fall, I'd have a little warning. Now the right side of the lane is the lane splitting side, where you're getting ready to lane split. So what I'll do is I'll single file it as we hit traffic. Single file, get behind him, let him take the lead, and I'll ride my own ride with lane splitting. I'm seeing a lot of smart cars lately, I like it. Prius is aware, letting us through. Thank you. Now one good thing is I've already mentioned waving. I wave at people that let me through, like this Camaro. The reason is, see, this guy's doing something you shouldn't do, which is linger. I wave because you want to build good community. You want to build, what's it called? You want to build favor with car drivers. Car drivers literally hold your life in their hands with that steering wheel and their attitudes about motorcyclists and looking for bikes. Now, you can't, I don't know if you can really teach the really bad drivers, but you can certainly make it so the good drivers who care about your welfare are on your side. Now, there was too much happening there. I didn't want to split. Sometimes I hang back and I let a situation sort itself out. Okay, we got a guy with a signal on. Careful. Alright, good. You don't want to be in first gear when you're splitting. First gear is bad because if you hit a bump, your bike can go flying. It's more sensitive. Second gear is usually good, maybe third gear, depending on the bike. Almost never first gear. Now, swerve pattern is what I talked about earlier. You're using the space. Watch out for taxis. You're using the space of cars and the gaps. And there's sort of a rhythm you can get, and that's part of what makes lane splitting beautiful. Now this white SUV is fucking blind. But that's okay, I'll use the space over here. Sometimes if I'm really serious, I'll move in a mirror. I'll pull a mirror in on my bike, and I'll be able to split in very narrow gaps. Okay, now this guy's going a little faster than I want to go. Sometimes the swerving gets people's attention too, and I might add, the swerving gives you the, oops, I'm in the wrong gear. It gives you the angle to look quickly, do a quick check over your shoulder for other splitters, right? So swerving is a good thing. It's also more fun. It also gets you ready to make an evasive maneuver when you need to. See, now I'll probably catch this guy because he doesn't swerve, he just kind of goes straight. And I think that's an inferior technique, even though he's going through pretty small gaps. The other thing is, never hit a mirror, ever, if you can help it. A mirror is not part of doing business. A mirror is off limits. Treat a mirror like a light pole or something that'll knock you off your bike. Just don't hit them, please. I know I sound naggy. I don't consider a mirror thing something I can ever hit. Now, if you do hit it, well, how you deal with that is your call. It's just better not to do it. You'll piss off drivers for the next guy. See, he's swerving a little bit. You don't always need to swerve. It's just a useful technique sometimes. Ooh, car accident. People are going to be looky-looing. Wow, that looked kind of bad. Now Mulholland is pretty cool, but I'm going to go to Las Virgenes and go toward Malibu. I always check for other motorcyclists when I'm splitting. Saw someone flicking a cigarette and distracted me for a second. Don't be distracted. See? Swerve, perfect time to look. I do a lot of head checks. Why? Because it's fun. Brake, 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 brake. I'm gonna brake, brake, brake. Okay, now we're going by Hidden Hills, Calabasas. Hidden Hills is where a few celebrities live. I've been to one house in Hidden Hills, and that was the drummer from the band Toto who died. Former boss bought that house, so we had a little Halloween party there one year. So it's not a race, you know, when you're lane splitting, just go at a reasonable pace. If you can do it without leaving anyone scathed, and you're not pissing anyone off, that's the best situation. You know, the other thing to consider is drivers are bored. They're willing to let you through if they see you, generally. It's something to do, and it's a way to feel good when you're in crappy traffic. At least for some drivers, anyway. And some drivers are riders. They just happen to be driving. Now this freeway that I'm on is going toward Agoura Hills as well. Some of you may recognize Agoura Hills. That's where the Renaissance Fair used to be before they moved it to Glen Helen Regional Park. Generally, if I get going fast enough, I'll stop splitting, so I'm just about ready to stop splitting, plus I gotta get off soon. Alright, that's my lane splitting stuff. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time.